Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and I'm at a brand new house flip we just bought, and this is an interesting one. It's very smelly, and it has some major issues when we bought it, and it had some title issues as well. So we'll talk about that, and we might have some more videos to just go into more detail on what exactly is going on with this property. But we bought it from an auction, which is always a little interesting. It's got solar on it, which is part of what made it super interesting. And it was a foreclosure as well. You can see kind of the eviction notice. It was on the door. And it's got some poop in it. So that's why it's a little smelly. And we'll show you inside and talk about what our plans are for this property. And, of course, what we bought it for and what we plan to sell it for as well. All right. So the first thing is really hard to tell. This door jamb is completely messed up. Like it's out of whack a couple inches, and there's a Spidey friend wandering around. And the door barely locks, so that's kind of weird. But it's kind of an interesting floor plan. I don't think I've seen this floor plan before. I know it exists, but I just haven't seen one personally. It's a 4-level, but it's got kind of a living room on the main level and then a family room upstairs. And we'll show you all of that. Now, the upstairs is what smells the worst. It smells a little bit down here, but not too bad. But it definitely has been neglected. And yes, there's a freezer there. I've learned not to open freezers. I had a flip in the country one time and opened a freezer, and it was full of game meat that had been there for months, and that was disgusting. I think we made one of our contractors move it, and they said they were throwing up the whole time. So yeah, don't open freezers. Although it's one of those things that you kind of have the urge to do, even though you know you're going to regret it. So this house isn't in bad shape. You can see the windows down here are a little older, the patio door a little older, had the fence blow down, and the city actually had placed a notice on the door they're going to file a lien against the property if that isn't fixed. But it's an auction property. Who owned it? It was a bank-owned property, so we're not allowed to fix anything beforehand. They're not going to fix anything. So we had called the city, said, hey, told them the situation. They said, don't worry, we're not going to lien the property right away. As soon as you buy it, it starts over that process anyway. And if the new owners don't fix it in a timely manner, then we'll do that. So we'll get that fixed right away. Now, this is also interesting. This is the garage, 2-car garage. No access to the garage from the house. You have to go outside to access it. But the craziest thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but there's no lock on that door. There's no deadbolt. There's no locking handle. There's no keyhole. It's just accessible to anybody. And so there's a truck out on the side of this house. And I was just wondering, I sure hope nobody's in here. And luckily there wasn't. But we've seen crazier stuff when dealing with flips and rentals and all kinds of different properties we have. And I think that glass it felt like it's about to fall out as well. So it's not a huge kitchen or dining room, but it's okay. And like I said, we've got your 4 levels, so you've got this lower level, and then another level below it. It did come with a washer and dryer. My wife has been saying she wants a new one, so maybe I'll take those home to her. Not sure she'll like it, and I probably will be sneezing uncontrollably, because I was very allergic to this house. Side note, I went to the small laundromat a couple of weeks ago, and I think someone was in there with horse blankets. I was sneezing and coughing and not having a good time immediately. Horses are the worst. But cats and dogs, I'll be fine until about 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll start sneezing and coughing and being disgusting. Anyway, I think they had some kind of studio in that room, all the dampening, the sound dampeners, and that was a bedroom. And you've got another bedroom here. And if you notice down here, those have newer windows, so that's kind of nice. They did replace those windows with newer ones, but they didn't replace the main floor, which is kind of weird because you think those would be the ones you see the most important ones to replace. Bathroom, it's got a shower, toilet, sink. It's really not in bad shape, right? We've dealt with much, much worse. So at some point, this house was remodeled, at least this lower level, and then we have the basement down here, which is not the nicest part of the house. I can tell you that for sure. And they had some kind of water damage too, some kind of flood. As you can see, the ceiling has got some issues. That whole chunk of sheetrock drywall is kind of fallen down. I don't know if it's a kitchen, a pipe broke, something. There's a little bit of discoloration there on the wall, so they probably had some water in the basement for a little while. There's the closet doors from somewhere. There's your main water shut off in there, and just a little closet area. And then you've got another room here that actually has an egress window, which is nice. But the downside to this room, I was turning my light on there, is more water damage, right? Which is really not that big of a deal. The bigger deal is finding the leaks and making sure they are all taken care of. A random shoe, so that always makes me wonder if someone's been in the house, but the properties looked exactly the same since the first time I saw it. I could see in this property before we bid on it. And then you've got a closet here, and the big problem down here, besides the horrible, some of the discoloration and flooring, your furnace and water heater is off the bedroom with the only access. That makes it not a legal bedroom. So if we were able to move a door or reconfigure that a little bit, you can call it a legal bedroom, but you can't do it if that's your only access. So we'll have to think about that. I think that's your thermostat. And then this is the upstairs. See, upstairs. We do need that Lysol disinfectant. So this is your family room with a fireplace. And yes, quite a bit of dog poop on the carpet and floor. And this one did not smell very good. Although with the doors open and the breeze blowing through it, it smelled a lot better than it did before. That's for sure. But still, did not smell great. And then we got another bathroom, which also did not smell great. And don't watch the video here in a second if you get grossed out by stuff. I'll tell you, stop watching now. Okay, now you can watch again. Toilet had been used. So this one isn't horrible either. Again, old windows up here, which is so weird. Like you'd think they put the new windows in the upstairs and main floor. And then we've got another bedroom here, which I think is kind of your master bedroom. Like I said, weird layout with one bedroom upstairs. The other one's on the lower floor. And this, you can see the window, the seal's broken. So it definitely needs some new windows up here. And a tree growing way too close to the house. That is not a good situation either. Now, some of the interesting things in this house, it has a solar system that was leased, and I bought this from auction for $249,000. I actually couldn't believe I got it for so cheap. But the solar system is leased, and the title company for the auction company did not want to insure against that lease, and also had a CHFA loan against it, which is kind of a low down payment assistance second loan that's kind of quiet, and they didn't want to insure against that either, even though the house went through foreclosure. So I actually went to my own title company and said, hey, will you insure against these items? And they said, yeah, no problem. The solar lease is actually against the equipment, not the house, and the CHFA lease should have been, or CHFA loan should have been wiped out from the foreclosure. So I told the title company I'm switching, and all of a sudden like, oh, actually we can insure it. It's fine. So we don't have to worry about those liens. They're wiped out. We're paying $240. We paid $249.5 for it, I think. There was no buyer's premium, anything like that. And it should be worth in the $380 range. Repairs should be pretty minimal. Carrying costs probably like $35,000. Selling costs, all that. So it should be an awesome flip. And it really doesn't need that much work. So I have to keep an eye out on auction properties. Usually I don't get them. I'm outbid by other investors. So I was really surprised I got this one and got it so cheap, because there was another property on kind of the same auction site that went for like $60,000 more than I wanted to pay, and this one went for like $20,000 less than I wanted to pay. So you never know. All right, we'll have lots of updates on this. We'll talk more about the solar in another video, and of course we'll show you when it's all done as well. Take care. Be back soon. Of course, we'll have videos on our laundromats, liquor store, rentals, commercial properties, all of that coming up too.